Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer. This is my Sunday chat. Wait, I know what you're thinking. This isn't the normal studio. No, I'm not in the normal studio. I am in rural Dorset. Yes, in England. Been here for a couple of days, thanks to the lovely Ernie who's put me up. And I've been filming with Ernie since Friday. It's Saturday as I record this. This goes out on Sunday, and I'll tell you more about that in a moment. So this is my Sunday chat for the 4th of July 2021. As ever, I've got some notes with me, so I know what the hell I'm talking about. And firstly, let me just say Happy Independence Day to all our American friends who are waving the flag and spitting on the English. You get to do that one day of the year, at least. So there we go. Got that out the way. So yeah, I am in, funnily enough, you can't see the whole room, and I can't show you the whole room because actually it's a little bit of a mess. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. It's just that Ernie's house is an old school, an old Victorian school, and he's in the process of renovating it. It's not quite finished. There's a lot of work to do, and he doesn't want to show it when it's in a mess. He's happily show it when it's all done. So I'm just sitting here by this beautiful old Victorian fireplace that was originally in the schoolroom where school kids from the local village would have come in here. I think it's dated from 1857, the school. So it's a beautiful thing, a lovely roof and windows and all the rest of it. You'll see bits of it in the long format video that I'm working on with Ernie down here in Dorset of my trip here. So that's to come. Anyway, so yeah, the new video style, that's my first item on the list. And I'm working on the first episode, which, fingers crossed, is going very well. Of course, I've seen some of the rushes, but I've not edited anything, which is a bit unusual because, as you know, normally I go out, I film, then I edit, and then I upload, and then it goes out the next day. Here, none of what I've been filming will be going out. Now, the question is when? When will it go out? I think probably towards the end of this week coming. And the reason I say that is I want to give myself time to put it together. I don't want it to come out at the beginning of the week. I think the day that these new 30-minute long format videos will go out probably either on a Friday for the weekend or possibly over the weekend. I have yet to decide, it depends. But it will take a bit of time to get used to and bed in. So don't expect masterpieces. Well, don't expect masterpieces anyway, but don't expect them to be brilliant straight away. It's going to take a while. It took me, a couple of years really to get the dailies into a format that I was quite happy with. And it may be that I find trying to get the 30 minutes every week too much to the standard that I want. And it may be that I do it once a fortnight and then there's dailies in between. Who knows? I don't actually know how I'm going to do it. So it's all a bit of an experiment, really. So we get on there. So yes, I am in Dorset. Now, for the moment, not saying whereabouts I am, but I can tell you, Dorset is lovely. It's a very rural county. And as I drove down over the hills and all of this, beautiful farmland, some of it quite big, and the bits of it are sort of your monoculture and prairie land, but some of it also quite small, what looks like mixed farming, the type of farming that I like. Fingers crossed that these farmers can hold on. Not so many of the new builds round here. I suppose being down in Dorset, the big cities and things are a bit too far away for commuting. The roads are small and narrow, but that may be just my impression of it that I've seen so far. So you can always correct me if I'm wrong, but it is a lovely place, and I can absolutely see why Ernie wanted to move here, which he did last year. Fantastic. Although, he's got a mammoth project on, and this beautiful old Victorian school that's being adapted. So what have we been doing? Well, I can tell you that earlier today he cracked the whip. and got me up Hambledon Hill. At least I think it's called Hambledon Hill, where there was an ancient Iron Age hill fort, beautiful, and a long barrow, probably I guess a Neolithic long barrow. A great big long barrow on the top, and we go and explore that. We clamber up, beautiful meadow flowers everywhere. The rain was threatening us, and we weren't sure if we were going to make it, because all around us was this weird dark sky, and then through this misty murk came these gorgeous patches of golden sunlight, which opened up a little area of the rural carpet of the Dorsetshire countryside. It was just lovely, but unfortunately, because it was likely to rain, I was only filming on my GoPro, and the GoPro is a fixed wide-angle lens, so some of the lovely shots that I would love to have got, I just haven't. So it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag, I'm beginning to realise, because it depends how I shoot, whether I've got tripods with me, long lenses with me, wide-angle lenses and all of that. Everything's slightly different. But I think in the 30-minute style, we'll have a little bit of everything. So that's quite nice. What else did I do? On the way down, Julia was over at her mum's near Portsmouth, and she said, well, if you're going to Ernest to Dorset, why don't you break up the journey, come in and have breakfast with mum and her and little Joe. So did do that, and of course we filmed a bit of that. So it was nice to get Julia involved, even if it's only a small bit. It's great to have her and little Joe, the scene stealer, as you will see. I've been out investigating what was allegedly a medieval village that disappeared during the plague, but I'm not certain that that's the case, and so I go off to try and work out what was going on there, but I don't want to give anything away, so you'll have to enjoy waiting for that to come in. So that's all good. I wanted also to say a big thanks to all the feedback that came in when I did my review on Clarkson's Farm. It was fascinating to see other people's opinions coming in on that series, and I know that they're in the process of making season 2, as they say, season 2. I always think of it as series, but you know, season 2, whatever. And I'm looking forward to seeing what that's about. But it was fascinating to see other people's positive response on that, although there was a couple of negative people who, one on principle, I think just didn't like Jeremy Clarkson. And that was a shame, because although he isn't my number one performer or presenter, it was interesting how he was bringing to the masses the experience of farmers that I think a lot of people have no conception of, or how food is being grown and the problems. And although it was a bit Top Gear, over the top style, I think it really did a good job to bring people in to at least engage with that process of where their food comes from. So I'm hoping that series 2 will be good. But thank you for all the feedback. It was great. I had some terrific views on that. While I've been here, I've been sleeping in the van because, as I said, Ernest's house is being renovated and he had no space to actually put me. But I had said, that's great, because I really wanted to spend more time understanding and learning how my van works and what works for me in terms of using it as a work vehicle, but also as a kind of camper van. And I have come now to the conclusion that I think I need to rip out the layout that it is and start again. And last night, whilst I woke up at about 2:30 in the night, hoping to see in the pitch black, by the way, some wild animals, or hear some wild animals, and I got lost in the thoughts on how to put the new van style together. So I may have to take some time off to try and get this better, because I want to utilize both doors and be able to grab everything without having to get out one side and go around. Because being a black van, it gets very hot in the sunshine. And that has really proved to be a thing. Whereas if I can open the side door and the back door and get airflow through, it's going to solve a lot of the problems. But at the moment, because of the way the bunk is laid across the van, I can't do that. But I've got some ideas on a modular concept. I know that sounds a bit weird, but I will share my ideas with you as we go along. So expect some more van remolding. Remodeling, I think is the right phrase there. As you know, as I explained, sitting here in the schoolhouse, and we were chatting away last night, Ernie and I, and Ernie's father-in-law. And I said, you know what, have you got any pictures of some of the kids at the school? It'd be lovely to have hanging in your room when you finally got it together, a lovely picture of the kids and some of the teachers. And he said, no, I've tried looking and I can't find any. And I said, what a brilliant thing may be to go to the local school of the local town and see if you could get kids to be dressed up in Victorian school clothes and a couple of teachers, and get them in front of the house, because the front of the house is so Victorian school. When you see it, you'll think, oh yeah, it's clearly a Victorian school. Get them all lined up in like a group photo, take a picture in black and white or sepia, and then have it enlarged and framed and hang it somewhere, you know, like maybe above the fire or wherever. It would be brilliant. And Ernie said, do you know what? That is such a good idea. I thought, I've had a brainwave. At last. It did hurt, by the way, that brainwave. Also, whilst chatting to John, Ernie's, as I say, father-in-law, I think he's 89, and he's as bright as a bell. And he was telling both Ernie and I about these times as a youngster and the various scrapes that he got up into. But in particular, what was fascinating for me was hearing stories about the Battle of Britain and near misses that he had. Now, unfortunately, I haven't yet persuaded him to be on camera to do that, but it's interesting to hear the stories. Lovely man. If I can, I will, but don't count your breath. That's not right, is it? But you know what I mean. So that was that. And oh yes, a few apologies for this week. Because I'm away, I've missed a couple of the Naked Englishman podcasts that I do. If you don't know, I do this daily podcast, audio podcast called The Naked Englishman, which you can hear at nakedenglishman.co.uk. And the links are in the description of these videos, of course. Or you can get the podcast if you listen to podcasts on your podcatching app, whatever that is. Just put in Naked Englishman. I'm not naked. It's nothing to do with that. It's a sort of real behind the scenes of my life and some of my philosophy and some of my thoughts and some just, you know, stories and things. So it may not be your cup of tea. It is very different to the Bald Explorer, and it's different to the Vobes show. So it's just a different type of format. Have missed out a couple of those. And unfortunately, this Sunday, there is no Vobes archive for the patrons. So apologies for that, but working very hard on this new format. And as I've said before, it will take a bit of time to get right. So yeah, that's it. It's drawing to the close of the afternoon here on the Saturday as I record this. I'm now going to go and encode it and upload it so you've got it ready for Sunday. And Ernie has been a brilliant host, and he's out in the kitchen at the moment chopping fresh runner beans, which is going to steam. We've got some lovely pork sausages and some fresh new potatoes with a bit of mint. So I'm very much looking forward to that as my evening meal. Anyway, have a great Sunday. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Look after yourselves, and I will see you in another video very soon. Take care, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.